Happy Friday, everybody. It is time for your Friday morning pick and roll for November 8th. We're here with a big slate of NBA games to break down. We're going to be going through pretty much every game on the slate today, giving you some insight and some information. And along the way, Pips, my co-host here, will be giving out some free picks as well. So let's get things started here with a quick word from our sponsor on the channel, The Board. Content this season and the pick and roll live streams are presented by the FanDuel Sportsbook, and there's such a great offer available right now because FanDuel right now is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do to catch all the action this season is place any $5 bet on the NBA. With a full season of NBA betting on the show, why not sweat them out with League Pass? And on top of this, for a limited time, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. So if you're tailing a pick on the show, you have your own hunch, bet it on FanDuel and watch your picks come to life live with League Pass. Just visit FanDuel.com/board, B-O-A-R-D, the name of the channel, to get 3 months of NBA League Pass courtesy of FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For candidates in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 password customers. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelpline.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right, getting on with the show here. We'll start off with the games that we saw yesterday. It was a small slate of games, but 2 official picks were on the show. I hate that every show, every time there's losing picks, it feels like some hard luck has gone against the show. I hate that I have to say it every time, but it seriously feels like it's the case here. Gobert, we had essentially the double-double line. He ends on 9 rebounds. Was on 9 for a little bit. There was definitely a chance for him to grab that last one. Anthony Simons, I think the line got lower, unfortunately, on the price because Shaedon Sharpe was ruled in. I think that was the reason that the line went down. Nonetheless, I'm just trying to pull.
I like it. I like it even more when it dropped. Didn't change anything for me personally.
He's still Go ahead.
It just he had, I think, 3 field goal attempts in first 15 minutes. He just wasn't looking for it. Then when he started, he did started scoring easily. And then right when he took 3 straight possessions, he got pulled because it was a blowout. 2 minutes with 3 minutes left. He's usually scoring in the fourth most of his points. So. Game was predicted to be a close. We also thought it's going to be a close, and it wasn't. So
he still took 16 shots. He still took 16 shots. He still took 9 threes. He still got 33 minutes. Nobody else on the team took more shots. Tough. He was 1 layup away from getting us on that one, so it's difficult. But it is what it is. We move on. We move on to the next one here. Let's get into the slate that we have today, starting with the Atlanta Hawks and the Detroit Pistons. You're pretty in tune with the Atlanta Hawks, and you mentioned pre-show that you're interested in potentially the Trae Young matchup today.
Yeah, I think he should get his in every possible way. So let's see what's the price for him to hit 20 plus points and 10 plus assists. I think that's on the cards today.
All right.
For Trae Young.
I'll cue it up here so we have it ready. 20 plus points, 10 plus assists. And I've got it minus 112 here.
Yeah. So first off, I'll show you some seconds. Just a second. I'll show you the Trae Young stuff.
Yep.
So this season, when we look at the numbers, I'll zoom in a bit so people can see. So easy matchups, 30 points against the Nets, 38 points against the Hornets. Then difficult matchup came against the OKC, the best defense in the league. He scored 24 points, still covered this line. Back-to-back game against the Wizards, 2 of 15 back-to-back game. He was really not feeling well. I watched the game. It was yeah. Then like next game that wasn't back-to-back against the Wizards, he scored 35. Covered this against the Kings, against the Pelicans, against the Knicks. So scoring wise, Pistons should be a great matchup. They are allowing fifth most pick and roll ball handlers, above average free throws. He should be able to smash this line. But when we look at the assists, when we exclude this terrible game against the Boston, he covered this assist in 10 plus in 7 out of 8. The thing with the Thunder, it was ridiculous. They were double teaming him in the half court and trying to get him get rid of the ball. So he had only 8 assists in those games because they weren't allowing him to play make at all. So every other game he is almost easily smash this line. 12, 10, 13, 15, 12, 12, 10. So yeah, I think looking at this matchup against the Pistons, he should be able to get everything in this game. So yeah, that's our first official bet.
All right, Trae Young, minus 112 here. We have him to score 20 plus points and 10 plus assists. We're grabbing that at FanDuel as the Hawks take on the Pistons. Let's move things along here because we do have a big slate of games to go through. We have next on the board is the Pelicans Magic. Spread here is 6 for the Magic, over under 213, but not really much here for Pips that he wanted to go through here. So we'll move over this game here and keep the show flowing. We'll go to the Indiana Pacers game against the Charlotte Hornets. We have the Pacers at -7 in this one. The Pacers, team that's been struggling this season, but a good opportunity here to catch a win.
Yeah, and the lines are very inflated. I mean, LaMelo was 25.5 last game in a good matchup. Now we can see 28.5. People are catching up that Pacers is such a soft matchup that they are raising his points to like 3 to 2 points up. So there is no real value to betting his over 28.5 points. Overall, great matchup for him, but the line is really high. So, yeah.
All right, so we will skip on this one as well. Let's move on to the next game that we have on the slate here. Not go to CFL. We have Golden State was another one that you mentioned. Not much for that game. Golden State 4.5 point underdogs against the Cavaliers, who've been on a tear. I think it's 9-0 they are now this season.
Yeah, this one is kind of interesting, but I already moved a ton. Both Steph. Okay. I wanted to bet Stefan over. He got from 23.5 minus 115 to juiced my 24.5. I wanted to bet Garland under 18.5 to move to 17.5. Yeah, it's really tough. Like the book is this schedule of NBA this season. 3 games, 11 games, 4 games, 12 games is really tough because when there are 3 games, books open very early for the next day games, and as our show time comes, the most of the value lines are already gone. This is happening like this season way earlier than before. Last season we could get some easy spots on the show. Now it's mostly moved. So yeah, I hope they balance out at some times the schedule, so we have like 6, 7, 8, 6, 9 instead of these terrible 3, 11, 3, 12 games.
Yeah, I am kind of noticing that as well. Yesterday we had 3, but I feel like it's either 2 or 3 or it's at least 12, where we're either doing like a couple of games or we're doing a ton of games on this slate. I've noticed the exact same thing. I mean, I guess we could look and see when it does bounce out, or if it does bounce out at all. But in the start here, I'm glad it's not me. It has felt a little bit strange so far with the schedule. But regardless, we'll move on to the next game here. 2 teams who could use a win, but in particular, my goodness, this Milwaukee Bucks team is in a perilous spot right now, and they are plus 7.5 point underdogs away at the New York Knicks. It's been tough for the Bucks. They actually played yesterday, got a win against the Utah Jazz, a much needed win, but still a lot of work needed to be done here. Do you think they have what it takes to get over the Knicks at MSG tonight?
Yeah, that's a rough one because yeah, I don't know. Knicks lost to the Hawks. Their rim defense is terrible, so I don't know. Actually, this is a really rough one. Bucks got away very like Utah Jazz were competitive for like 2.5 quarters. Like midway third quarter, they were still like tied, and then Bucks ran away, but didn't look great at all, even though they won. Now on back to back, yeah, I think this should be. I don't know. I didn't even check if anyone is questionable on the Bucks.
Let's have a
Let
quick
me just
look.
check quickly. Giannis is questionable.
He
Gary
played
Trent is
yesterday. He had a really
questionable.
good game, so I don't know how to feel about the Giannis
Yeah,
injury news.
but he was missing out on injury earlier game and now back to back, which is always a rough spot.
It,
So
is he questionable? I don't see him actually on the injury report on ESPN today.
I do see him questionable for
Okay.
tonight on my
Um, and,
fantasy.
and
So this should be a
Middleton's
good
also
game
out.
for good spot for Damian Lillard against drop coverage of Towns. Maybe they do some damage on trying to go up on screens, but I don't know. And he's not up on the slate, so we can't do much. We can't do much here, unfortunately.
Another one we can't do much for, to be honest. Brooklyn Nets, Boston Celtics. The spread here is 13. Pips mentioned earlier. Don't want to spend too much time on this with a lot of games to go through. But as we get through the slate here, already one official pick given out. It was a Trae Young 20 plus points, 10 plus assists. If you're tailing the pick, you're enjoying the show, please make sure to hit the like button, drive us up in the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel for weekday shows like this every weekday as long
We
as
can
there are
go to
NBA
the
games.
we can go to the hoop on the Heat against the Denver.
You want to? Okay, we'll skip over some games. We'll come back to them. We'll go to the Heat and the Nuggets. Nikola Jokic was something you were looking at today, I think.
Yeah, this is my second official bet. Nikola Jokic under 27.5 points. It's minus 122 on FanDuel, but there are much better lines out there. I think minus 110, minus 115 is probably widely available, should be available on some books. FanDuel is always the quickest one to move, the sharpest one to get to move on the sharp action, and I think this is a great spot to bet on under on Nikola Jokic.
So second, I think it's the second straight game now. We're going to be doing under on points for Nikola Jokic. Just trying to see what's around. Yeah, definitely some less juice you can get on this play. Maybe some 28.5s out there. What would be the highest juice you would pay for 28.5 if you were going to bet this?
Yeah, my minus 125, minus 130, minus 130 actually. I will go.
Okay. And would you say minus 130 at 28.5 would be better than minus 110 at 27.5?
Yeah,
Oh, we
I
hammered
would.
this. We hammered this. It's already moved here. This is very widely available. There's multiple prices you can get. The 27.5 is out there at low juice. The 28.5 at high juice is a little bit more scarce, but it does exist. We have it on the show here at 27.5, so we'll track it at 27.5 minus 110. You okay with that, Pips?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So we'll track it minus 27.5. I'll actually put in the chat as we go through the next game here.
I'll need to like say some stuff. Why do
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
So last season against Miami, he played 38 minutes, both games, both close games, scored 18 and 12 points. As we can see, he was limited to 15 and 8 field goal attempts. 8 field goal attempts for Nikola Jokic in 38 minutes against Miami. That's crazy. Why? Similar stuff to Thunder. Since he is covered by Bam Adebayo, if he is trying to like elbow post, they will allow him. As soon as he starts moving inside, they'll send doubles. Pick and roll, they are just putting two on him and not let him to touch the ball. And he is under this line in 10 straight against Bam Adebayo and Spo. and I'm against Miami Heat. Over the last 10 games against Miami, he averaged 19 points, which is crazy because when you look at every other game, he averaged like 27 points, and against Miami Heat, only 19 points. So yeah, I think we are okay, great to bet against Spolstra. If you look at the similar players, Embiid also struggled here mightily against Miami. He averaged 33 points last season. He scored 23 and 29, so way below his lines. Sabonis also stayed under in both games. Shingun stayed under. Only player that went over his line was Anthony Davis last season by 1 point. So yeah, I think great spot. If you take a look at the play types, Miami is great. Like they are great transition defense. They are great limiting free throws, post ups, pick and roll man, and they are second best rim defense. That they were second best last season. Take a look at this season. They are the best rim defense. Low amount of points in the paint. So yeah, I think this is a good spot to take Jokic under.
All right, so Jokic under on the cards once again. This one's moving at FanDuel. This one's moving pretty heavily at FanDuel right now. It's already moving down. So please make sure again you're shopping around for this one here. Hopefully we can go back to back on the Jokic unders for points. Let's go to the next game here. Why don't we just go right into the Houston Rockets game now? We see Pips is wearing his Houston Rockets jersey once again. I've asked before if it means an Alperen Şengün bet is coming, and usually the answer is no. But today we have a different answer, I think.
Yeah, the answer today is hell yeah.
Let's go. That's our guy.
Yeah. We are betting Alperen Şengün over 13.5 rebounds and assists. I do hate rebounds, and if I am betting rebounds, it's a unbelievable spot, and it is. So we are betting over 13.5, minus 128 on FanDuel. I'm good with that, but you can find minus 120s if you shop around. I think a couple of spots that you can get minus 120. That's official bet. So I'll start like there were some crazy games where Şengün was benched and didn't play enough minutes. All that probably done. As you can see, against the Knicks, he had a great game, played 33 minutes. Then he played only 24 minutes against the Spurs, but it was 27 points blowout. He played normal minutes before subbing out for a blowout. If you exclude the games where he played less than 25 minutes and he gets 25 plus minutes, he averaged 18.4 rebounds and assists, had 16 plus in all five. We only need 14 today. And he's playing the Thunder, who allow the most rebounds per game and average points per game. But we saw the Nikola Jokic last two games against the Thunder, limited on scoring, but he had 16 and 13 potential assists in those games. Also, I think he had 20 rebounds, so Jokic had like 35 points, rebounds and assists. We only need 14 from Şengün. Similar way of playing as Jokic, not as many touches, but they will go to some post-ups on low block and on the elbow for Alperen Şengün. And if he tries to score, they will send doubles like they did last season. Last season against the Thunder, he had 13, 14, and 17. And in the game where he stayed under on 13 rebounds and assists, as we can see, he had 6 rebounds and 18 rebounding chances. That's huge variance hit on his rebounding. When he get 18 rebounding chances, he usually get like 10 rebounds. So yeah, we only did one. So yeah, that one should hit as well. So yeah, this should be a great spot for Alpi.
Okay, Alperen Şengün bets. I like Alperen Şengün plays. We got a chat here also. A Şengün play with excitement. Yes, Alperen Şengün back on the cards. He was, I believe, he has been on one play this season, and He didn't win. However, last season, this guy was an absolute hero on the show. So many Alperen Şengün bets hit, especially early season before bookies started to catch up to actually how good this guy was. But that's why you watch Pick and Roll, because me and Pips were well ahead of the masses on the Alperen Şengün hype train. We'll go to the next game here. Moving back, Phoenix and Dallas in action. Always seems to be a heated game when these two are playing together. A bit of a rivalry has started to brew here, especially between guys like Booker and Doncic. And on the spread for this one, it's -2.5 in favor of Dallas at home. This is an interesting one. This should be an exciting game. Any words from you, Pips, on how you see this game going down? I know there are some injuries on the board, but how do you see this one going down?
Yeah, Luka Doncic usually has huge games against the Suns, probably because all the hate between him and Booker. I honestly think they hate each other. So Luka,
I think there has to be some like professional respect, but they don't like each other. That's for sure.
Yeah, Luka averaged 41 points against Suns over the last 4 games. So yeah, I think there is something.
There's something there. You have it, yeah. Okay, 50, 34, and 41 in his last 3 games on points.
Yeah.
What is his line today?
Let's see something. I do think I need to bet like Luka 30 plus. Just need to find him a good enough partner for Luka in that game. That shouldn't be that difficult.
So starting with Doncic, 30 plus points.
Yeah, I need to just figure out what's the partner.
Yeah. Beal is probable for tonight on the injury news for the Suns. Ryan Dunn is doubtful for tonight against the Suns. We're just going to see for Dallas. Lively is out. We have PJ Washington out. That's the only real notable ones. Well, Max Cleve is notable to me. Maybe not you guys.
Yeah. Let's do Luka 30 plus, or let's do just checks a second. Luka 30 plus with. Need to find him something.
That's all right. We can be a bit patient here. Good opportunity for myself to remind you guys in the chat that at the end of the show we do a Q&A where we go through the bets that you have for the day and also questions you have for the day. We'll answer them. Maybe we can find some more bets. Maybe we can help inform some of your bets. So leave them in the chat. I see some already. We'll queue them up for later. We'll answer them later on in the show to end off the week. All right. We'll bring you back in, Pips. You got something for us.
So I'm just trying to find something. I think KD should be on a great spot here, but then I look like, okay, this should be a game for Devin Booker. But if you take a look at the last game against the Dallas, if you take a look at the last game against Dallas, he only scored 21 points and mightily struggled in that one. Shot 4 from 12. He did get a ton to the free throw lines, but so far this season Booker is not like his usual himself. The overs came in games where Beal was missing. So yeah, Beal also didn't play in that game. So maybe probably the best thing is let me just check Luka assists in that game. 4 assists against Suns for Luka. That's crazy, actually. Yeah.
In a moment like this, where you like Luka, what is it about the straight line that's kind of throwing you off? You're just curious, out of curiosity.
And that's some bias because I know I really liked the Luka over 29.5, which was available a couple of hours ago. So yeah, there is some bias there for sure.
I understand.
But yeah, I mean we can get him over just to see something. So Luka struggled in back-to-back games against the Wolves, shot poorly, and against Pacers, shot poorly but still went over. Then against the Bulls, he scored 27, but it was 20 points blowout. Against the Houston Rockets, no free throws. Had 12 free throws against the Suns. So yeah, this could probably be still a good bet over 31 and a half. Let me just check
Okay.
something. Last season, when we look at the regular season, when he attempted 20 plus field goal attempts, like 22 to 30, to see his win rate in that line, because that's where I expect him to be. Yeah, he crashed this line when he took 20 to 30 field goal attempts last season. That's the range where I see him honestly, and he'll for sure get 6+ free throws. So yeah, he was crushing this line on in those scenarios. I'll just be a little bit more conservative on field goal attempts and check when he does to 20 to 26. Still hit this in 69% of the game. So yeah, I'll bet as uh, yeah, 31 over 31 and a half points.
Okay. We're
Overall,
gonna
it's
go.
Mike Budenholzer. So yeah, no, there shouldn't be so much adjustment for Luca. They do allow a ton to opposing pick and roll ball handlers. As we can see, that was last season. This season, they allow second most to opposing pick and roll ball handlers. Most dominant were Luca scoring. Luca scored 40% of his points above the break three. We can see that they allow above average there, mid range average. They are just they are playing mostly like drop coverage with Nurkic, and Lucas should be able to destroy that once again, like he did in the last time they played, which was 10 days ago. Scored 40 points in a loss. They lost, so I think this should be a Luca good spot for Luca.
You mentioned Luka loves playing against the Suns here. Right now, FanDuel has the over 31.5 at -125, but there is the options to shop around here. There are
Yeah,
some options out
that
there.
will be the highest I will go. But yeah, that will be the highest I will go. There are -115s out there.
Yeah, -115s, -120s out there. So please make sure you are shopping around for this one. But if FanDuel is the book you're going to be playing it at here, -125 is fine to take as well, according to Pips. That is, I believe, the fourth official pick of the day here. Been a loaded episode. Once again, reminder to hit the like button, help drive us up in the YouTube algorithm, and we'll keep pushing through here on the games. A few more to go through. Washington and the Grizzlies in action. +7 for the Wizards on the road. The Grizzlies, if this team's healthy, this team looks pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, uh, but they aren't. So they are missing
They're
John
not healthy,
Moran.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, they are missing John Moran, Desmond Bain, and two of their best players, and Marcus Smart, like their probably fourth best starter. Like they need Smart for defense and size. So they're missing three key players. Still, they should run circles on Wizards, but we'll see. Their first number one scoring option is Jaren Jackson Jr. I don't know how much I trust him as the number one guy. So last
He had
season he
some
did have
decent
some good
games
games.
last year as the number one guy. I know, like, I understand the lack of faith. I just really wanted to point out he actually had some decent games last year as the
Yeah,
rookie.
but the thing is, he can get in foul trouble. Then you lack any
Yeah,
offense.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
the issue for me in this one. Uh, so yeah,
Not much to go through then on this game
yeah.
here. We'll go to the Trailblazers game against the Timberwolves. 12.5 is the spread in this one. Two more games after this one. Over under at 220.5. Yeah, I don't really see
Both,
much other
both,
than a blowout
these,
here. What about
both,
you?
both teams on back to back. I honestly don't have any idea what's going to happen here. Wolves looked terrible last night, even though they won. Their defense, the Bulls were cooking on them for like 40 minutes. I think Bulls had like 100 points to like 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. and then start like terrible offense. But yeah, they do have issues with teams that run. That are playing at high pace. Portland is not one of those teams, so they should handle this tonight.
And the next game up, the Kings, 7-point favorites against the Clippers. Kings at home for this one. Two teams that probably haven't looked at their absolute best this season. But do you feel like the
Yeah.
spread's a little big?
Yes, I do think that. Don't think the Clippers are a good matchup for them, honestly. They struggle with pick and roll defense, and I mean the Kings struggle with pick and roll defense. They are sending way too many bodies to stop, and then they are leaking. While they play mostly pick and rolls, while Clippers are great at defending pick and roll. Zubac is a great matchup for is matching up great against Sabonis. Uh, they have wing defense, so in Derrick Jones and Terrence Mann against Fox and DeMar. So they don't have anyone to guard James Harden. They don't have anyone to guard Norman Powell. So if you look at the matchup wise, I think this is a good matchup for the Clippers. So I do think they could cover this, but maybe they just lack offense. So we'll
And
see. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm betting anything for
let's
this
go
one.
to the final game on the board here. The 76ers away at the Lakers. Lakers have been struggling, to say the least, but God, Maxi's out. I know Paul George is back. Joel Embiid is out with either he's injured or either he's suspended. Does it like does this feel a little short? I know the Lakers haven't been playing well, but I guess it depends. Like if Anthony Davis is playing, he's probable for this game. Does this feel a little short considering how bad the Sixers have been?
I mean, yeah, I will lean towards Lakers, but I don't know covering. I don't
Okay.
know. Like their defense looked terrible, but 76ers, when you look at their roster now,
No Maxi.
yeah, and I don't think Paul George is an upgrade over Maxi, especially when the team is so limited.
I agree.
Uh, I actually don't like this line on Paul George looks crazy because like who is going to score? I mean, it's not that difficult to score on the Lakers because their defense just sucks. But I'm starting to see like who is going to score if not Paul George in this one. Like
Well, apparently it's Kelly Oubre. His over-under is 19.5.
yeah,
Well, it's
yeah,
more like
this
an
is
18.5 the way it's priced here, but
yeah.
Paul George priced
Paul
at
George
22 and
should
a
be
half.
like in a great state of. Let me just check something. Like, how did Paul George do last season against the Lakers, which is same team almost?
Lakers are the same, but very different
Yeah,
for PG.
yeah. Don't have
Let's
none.
see.
So against the Lakers, 35 without Harden, everyone healthy, 22, and then last game only 17, which is interesting. But it was with Kawhi Leonard and Harden and Westbrook. Now it's Paul George alone.
Paul George with Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin, Andre Drummond, and Kelly
Yeah,
Oubre.
I was confused with Paul George last game against the Clippers. He only took 9 shots in 24 minutes, and in the game against the Suns, he was shooting a ton. So I don't know. Actually, I will stay away from this one because it could be a blowout. I don't know. Like could
I'm
be.
trying to see if he's still on the minutes restriction.
I think it is, but it will move toward like 35, 32, probably 30, 32. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, he played 32 again in first game against the Suns. So I don't think. I think he should get at least 30.
All right. So,
Yeah.
okay. Decent spot, but maybe a bit tough to call for sure because of the uncertainty around the matchup. So, We can move on now to the Q&A portion of the stream. Any questions, any bets you have, leave them in the chat, and we'll try to get to them. But right now, I've queued up quite a few from earlier on in the stream, so let's get started.
I'll need to just grab a charger for my
Go ahead.
laptop.
Pips, going to grab a charger. I wish I had the Raptors to talk about then to stall the time a little bit, but no Raptors game today. There was a question regarding Zach Edey, if we're back on the Zach Edey train right now. Let me see if I can find it. D.Shifty asked about a bet at 19.5 on the points rebounds and asked, are we not back on the Edey train yet? For me, it's still a little bit difficult to say because I was very far off on Zach, out on Zach Edey. And now he's starting to kind of creep back into the fray. He's starting to play a little bit better, but I don't know what to think, honestly. He's looked good. He's looked bad. Pips, what are your thoughts on Edey so far this season? And any comment on his 19.5 points plus rebounds? I'm assuming this is an over bet.
Yeah. We don't know about the minutes. I thought he will get a lot more minutes in the last game against the Lakers. They played without AD, so I was like, okay, this is an AD spot. He played only 15 minutes, and 3 of those were in a garbage time. So he gets 29 minutes against the Nets. Next game, he gets 12 minutes against the Lakers without AD. I would hate betting on player that has such a minutes uncertainty, but it does look like a great matchup for him tonight. So tough one. We don't know minutes. And that's really important for this bet.
On the Edey front, we did bet his Rookie of the Year at the start of the season. He's currently co-favorite with Zachary Rizache. This is certainly a Rookie of the Year race right now that is just the best. Nobody's really trying to win this award right now. It looks like almost.
I think Rizache could win because so many injuries on the Hawks. I expected him to be like on 20 minutes a game. Then he's playing 35 because there is no Bogdanovic, there is no Hunter. Dyson Daniels were missing some games. There were no Kongwu. He just needed to fill out those minutes at the wing. And now after he scored 33 points in the last game on the Knicks, I could see him being a starter moving forward. So yeah, I could see him be it's probably Zachary and Edey.
The thing about Rizache, which is going to help him with the Rookie of the Year race, is that he's going to play till the end of the season. He's going to play. Edey, the Memphis Grizzlies are trying to win. They're trying to be a playoff team. They're 5-4 right now. They will use his minutes sparingly. They will use his minutes when they feel like they want to play him. Whereas Rizache is just going to play regardless because I just think the Hawks want to develop this guy. So between these two right now, for the reasons you said there, I think Rizache is a more clear path to getting this victory. However, if Edey can lock down his role and be a starter and a guy getting 20-plus minutes per game on a playoff team, then he's also in the conversation. But it's tough to call anybody on this award right now. Michael asked earlier on in the show about Jarrett Allen under 25.5 points plus rebounds. I know you didn't have a lot of thoughts on this game here because of the blowout potential, but any word on this one?
Yeah, I don't know because for me personally, I think Mitchell and Garland are in tough matchup. What?
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. I said blowout potential. I got the games mixed up. This is just a game.
I do. I think they're playing Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, it's Golden State. Not a blow-up.
Yeah, their perimeter defense is great. They are not allowing pick and roll points. They are not allowing threes above the break. That's both things where Garland and Mitchell excel. In order to put two on the ball and defend those two guys, they'll need to leave something for Mobley and Allen. And I think They have good rim protection, but I still think I would stay away from betting Jared Allen. If they put on the ball as I expect them to do and double more on Garland and Mitchell, that will open up some looks for Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. So I will
Okay.
not bet under.
There you go. Fries asked about Naz Reid. Nothing in particular, but just because the Wolves are on the second night of a back-to-back, Naz Reid played 18 minutes in the first night of said back-to-back. Do you think that he's in line for a bigger distribution of minutes today as a result?
Yeah, could be, but he didn't play well last night. They needed their defense was fucked when he was out there. So Portland is certainly a better matchup for him as they allow threes. So in spot up, that could be a better spot for Nas. But he's going against Klingon, who is great on defense. But he'll be in deep drop coverage, so maybe he can make some threes. If its line is at 10.5, sure. If it's higher, I will stay away.
Okay. James asked about SGA under 6.5 assists at minus 130.
That could probably work. I do think single coverage is. It's a Luka. I think he had 2 assists against the Houston. We are not allowing anyone to get assists, so SGA probably good spot to bet an
And
under on assists.
there's better prices out there than this minus 130 as well. So if you
Yeah,
like that,
guys,
maybe
please
a good
shop
spot.
around.
Jalen Green under 20.5 points, minus 115.
Tough spot for Jalen. They won't let him shoot pull up threes. They'll, I think, probably Dort on him, which is a really tough matchup, and he can drive to the rim. The only thing I'm worried is doubles on Shingun. Maybe opens up some looks for Jalen, but 20.5 does look like an under spot for me.
Bam Adebayo over 16.5 points, minus 130 from Michael again.
I was looking into it. Let's just open up. Like, yes, I like the matchup for this one, and but the numbers are so bad. Like, this is rough.
Huh.
So he played
That's
Orlando
strange.
Magic. Okay, Orlando Magic, not a great matchup. Then he played Hornets, who are a great matchup. He scores 12. Then he played Pistons, who are a great matchup. He scores 12. It was a close game against Hornets, against Pistons. Then he played Knicks, Towns, great matchup. He scores 11 points. Then they feed him against the Wizards. Spolstra said, okay, we need to feed Bam. He scores 32 points in a great matchup. Okay, I said, so I'm thinking like, okay, this thing needs to continue. Then he struggles against the Sabonis, 16 points. Then last game against the Suns, he shot 5 from 21. I honestly don't know what's happening with Bam, but if he was in a bit better form, 16.5 against the Denver Nuggets is a smash spot. I don't know. Like, I will lean over for sure.
Okay.
Like, if you
Fries
take a look
asked.
at anything here, like pick and roll man, they are allowing 6 most, isolation points allowing 10 most. He scores 82% of his points from the paint. Denver Nuggets allow fifth most points in the paint. Like, that's look just a great spot for Bam Adebayo. But I'd be a bit worried about his form. But if you take a look at the usage, first 4 games he shot 7, 9, 6, 17, 5. So like 10 field goal average. Then he moved to 24, 15, and 21. So we do see a huge trend on upwards on usage. I lean over.
All right.
Yeah.
Next one, Fries asked Jalen Johnson over 4.5 assists, minus 118.
Yeah, I did looked at that one. Looked like a decent spot. He after some poor start to a season from Jalen Johnson, he kind of bounced back both points and assists. So let's not look even at first 3 games because he wasn't
Different
himself.
player.
Yeah. So we can see like he bounced back to 23 points over the last 6.5 assists. So looking at this, we can see that he had last game 10 potential assists, 7 assists against Boston, huge blowout. He still got to the 4, which is kind of good. 8 and 9 against Kings and Pelicans, which is great. Against the Wizards, probably because he didn't need to pass because lines were open, easy matchup. He was scoring more, no need to. Yeah, he scored 21 points that game. Didn't pass a lot. First game, Trey struggled. He had 7. So I do like over on this one. The Pistons do allow some assists. We can see that Siakam had 9. Drew Holiday had 4. Yeah, I do like Siakam is probably like the similar type of player to Jalen Johnson when it's come to assisting, like point forward stuff from elbows and from yeah. I do think I lean over or on the assist. I like the over.
Okay, there we go. Over assist is a lean. Next one from Anthony as DeAndre Ayton under 14 and a half points because he's second night back to back. Yesterday he actually played really well, 21 points. But second night of a back to back here, and he's going up against Rudy Gobert.
I don't know. I don't know if Gobert is a difficult matchup for him. Like, sure, but he's shooting threes now. He's shooting mid ranges, and Gobert will be a deep drop. We saw how Ayton scored a ton on Wemby last night.
That's true.
Yeah. 14 and a half, a bit rich. Because we'll see Jaden McDaniels probably on the Simons, and maybe on Grant doesn't even matter. Like on first scoring option, he'll be locked down. Then they'll need to go more to the Ayton. Yeah, 14 and a half looks sharp. If we take a look at the Ayton scoring, I think he averaged way more. So they kind of pull down because they know it's a blowout opportunity. Let's look at Ayton so far this season. Take a look at the last 7 games. This is like difficult matchup against the Spurs, 21. Difficult matchup against the Thunder in a blowout, 14. Difficult matchup against the Clippers, covered. Difficult matchup against the Kings. Sabonis, like they do well against them. 20. So yeah, I will stay away.
All right. Next up, another 14 and a half. This one for Bilal Coulibaly. Over 14 and a half points at minus 105. One more after this one.
They are playing Memphis. They'll put a ton of pressure on Jordan Poole. Coulibaly should hit the over. I like that one.
Okay. Good spot to find from BRB. Last one from Justin. This one just came in. Over 27 and a half points at minus 125. Again, Brunson and the Knicks at home against the Bucks.
Yeah, I think that's so. Let's look at the numbers. Last six game for Brunson against the Bucks: 44, 45, 24 in a blowout, 36, 38, 43. That's probably like 38 points average in the last 6 over the Bucks.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
What? Why? What is it about the Bucks matchup?
Paul, great pick and roll ball handler scorer, great pull up scorer, great mid range scorer. Against the Brook Lopez in a drop coverage, he's just getting them. No point of attack defense. They do start Ajax now, who is a bit improvement on their point of attack defense. But still, shouldn't be.
But they play him because they don't have like anything else to offer there. He's just the best that they have. Like I think he's a decent player, but he's just the best that they have in that position or in that role.
Yeah. So yeah, do like Brunson. They did let so much to first game Mitchell, second game Garland. I'll just look. I think every game, if you look at the scoring, I'll just take a look at this to see like similar players. So we had Mitchell 30, Zach LaVine 25. We had Morant 26. I mean, almost every good scoring guard killed the Bucks. So yeah, this should be like good. Even though if you take a look at the numbers, Jalen Brunson did struggle this season, but he started the season with 2 blowouts, still came close. Then 8 of 24 against Cleveland. Miami Heat is not a good matchup. He still was 22 points with poor shooting. Over against the Pistons, also a blowout game. Then covered against the Houston Rockets, but still poor shooting. Amin Thompson put him in jail, but still covered. And the last game against the Hawks, I don't know what happened, but it was Dyson Daniels. So he did struggle this season, but mostly blowouts and difficult matchups. This one is the best matchup possible. So.
All right, so if you like the over, then perhaps you have a good position there against the Bucks for Brunson. That will do it for today's show. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I'll do the official picks recap in just a moment here, but it's the end of the week. Why not go into the weekend by supporting the show a little bit extra? Hit the like button if you enjoyed the show. If you're tailing the picks, subscribe to the channel. For weekday shows like this, we'll be live right here on the Board YouTube channel presented by FanDuel every weekday morning, as long as there are NBA games to talk about. So you do not want to miss out. Help us on the road to 4,000 subscribers. Here are the picks for today. First of all, we have in the Atlanta-Detroit game, Trae Young, 20-plus points and 10-plus assists. We got that minus 112 at FanDuel. For all these bets, please make sure you do shop around for the best price, especially later on in the day. Miami at Denver for the next game. We're taking, once again, Nikola Jokic under on his points, under 27.5. We're going to be playing that for minus 110 as the official play at 27.5. However, if you can get under 28.5 at minus 125 or minus 130, that is the preferred play. Those were available as well when we gave this pick out. Houston at OKC. We're going to Alperen Şengün, our guy, over 13.5 rebounds plus assists, minus 128 at FanDuel. And the final play here, Phoenix at Dallas. Luka Doncic, we're just going to take him straight on the points, over 31.5 points. We're going to be tracking that at minus 115 odds. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today once again. And what a great way to end the week. Sean Glenn sends in a super chat. Once again, so much support coming from Sean. Says, appreciate the work. Let's have a day. Let's indeed have a day. Let's hopefully not get hooked today. Or if we do, hopefully in the positive direction. Thank you again, everybody. We will see you again after the weekend. Hope you all enjoy your Saturdays and Sundays.